Alright, everybody. Been overdue. I would say about a week overdue. This is the recap of SPL 9. I gave you some time to watch at least one game. I didn't catch it live, but you know what I'm talking about. It was Fear versus Conflict. Definitely a treat to watch. We have a very short recap this time around because one of the players didn't play. There was a dead game. Being the last week, of course, some players just, either automatically qualify or don't, or, you know, for example, in the game between M Dragon and I believe it was 4Gs, there was supposed to be a game going down, but M Dragon's team lost early, so that didn't happen, unfortunately for us. In any case, we got False, thank you, on the bottom, and Siatam. False is on the Raiders. Siatam is on the Ruiners, as his avatar is sporting, that he's sporting shows. So we're going to start with this and cue the music. So yeah, um, yeah, I was just a bit stressed. I wasn't even thinking of doing this, but I want to get my mind off something now. So we got Zap, Lax, Thunder versus Double Edge, Siatam going for the aggro play, probably a rest talk Zap, possibly also a rest talk Lax. These two mons respect each other very much, being really strong. Chloe comes in, gets the spikes, and is free to boom here. Probably would be a bit preemptive, but we'll see. Siatam decides to go for it, and it might not be a bad play all in all, because he does manage to deny spikes, get some momentum, and is in a position to paralyze the Raikou. Just as I say that, Zapdos is the one getting paralyzed here, so it's one full para away from death. Instead, Siatam's going to bring a Raikou of his own, and they seem to be at the same speed. At the very least, Siakam's Raikou is equal to or greater than False's Raikou in terms of speed. Lax here, and we see a lovely kiss. Nice, lovely kiss there. Ooh, all right, Gengar. Gengar switch in. Goes for a free Ice Punch because Tori can't do shit. So it's not going to spin away those spikes. And right now, Siakam is with all of the momentum. He may be down one Mon, but de facto, he's in a leading position and goes for a Thunder on this Raikou that was most likely going to go for rest on that turn. And there's a Crunch. Crunch reveal. Crunch is kind of weird. Can get you a nice Spadef drop, of course. And with the Lax down to 72, it's not safe to come in on Raikou. It is sort of, but not entirely. And yes, we do see False's Raikou, who is consistently getting HP recovery after Siatam's, is indeed slower because it is a phaser. Gengar coming in here, Raikou coming in on the Gengar. Because the Gengar was phased in. Siatam doesn't want to keep the Raikou, uh, the Gengar in a position to get KO'd. At the very least, he wants to find the right moment when he has enough information to gauge the situation. Lax is going to go for an early EQ there. I'm sure False might have been expecting a rest Lax, but it turns out that Siatam has Lovely Kiss, Earthquake, and also Double Edge. So maybe there's rest, or maybe there's curse. But at the very least, this Lax has managed to put two normal resists in check. There's a curse, so there is no rest. False will be going for the spin, which is not a bad play. However, now this Lax is at +2. The Tar is in range of Earthquake. The Fori is in range of Double Edge. The Lax is in range of Double Edge. Everything, pretty much. And the Skarmory is asleep. So In my opinion, this is a good trade from Siakam's end. And Pulse will be going for the chip damage, knowing that the recoil is going to matter a bit. Hori can boom. Instead goes for a toxic, so it turns out it might have just been a spin set of some sort. Siatam goes to Gengar, so he does lose the spikes permanently. And you have to wonder what he will be aiming to do now. Is he going to boom on the Raikou? Could be a plan. But in any case, Siakam's Lax seems like it's in a pretty commanding spot. As long as False doesn't have a Curse Lax of his own. Golem here can spin for free. Decides to go for Earthquake. Probably just to punish staying in. Gengar coming in. And these turns are wearing off, but that just means that the Lax will be able to use Lovely Kiss again. Ice Punch. Siatam's really low on the counter, on the timer, 15 seconds. This is most likely a Sleep Talk 2. Goes for the aggro play of Thunder. I like it. Golem coming in. Probably just threatens an EQ here again, which does let the Skarmory in, which is a little bit scary because I feel that the situation for Pulse, let's say that right now they're in a bit of an advantage, but Siatam in the long run will seem to have more of an advantage. It all really does depend on the set of T-Tar, but the T-Tar isn't really allowed in on any Mon right now without taking a lot of damage. But a Surf Tar would be scary. EQ as well. There's a Thunder from the Zap, and it looks like it's back to square one. And we see that the Lax is Sleep Talk, so it's Sleep Talk EQ. Manageable. I'm going to speed things up just a tad, because who knows how long this game can last. Well, probably all of you at this point, except for the future viewers. Gengar's going to take an Ice Punch and reveals Destiny God. Goes for it again, and here we see Curse Tar. Curse Tar looking mighty scary. Ooh, that could have been a turn where the Tar could have just murdered the Gengar for free. And that would have been game. Okay, it's not entirely over yet. Oh, yes, I completely forgot about that. Lovely Kiss. Well, now False is in a really good spot. Drill Peck with Raikou and Skarmory and 3 more Mons to boot. False is in a great position to stall, especially because the Lovely Kiss did not really successfully put the Skarm to sleep. I mean, it did, but it didn't stay asleep, which is what matters. More of this. No para so far. The Raikou from False's team is asleep now, so it can be used as a setup Mon. Siatam instead chooses to go to his own Raikou, which seems a little like a missed opportunity, but Both players are still quite in this. I would say in terms of DP, False has the advantage. There's a para. Curse. Yeah, Fori would definitely put this Lax on a timer. Gets an EQ. Spikes. They won't be permanent though. Golem coming in here. That Fori could very well be Giga Drain. Very interesting to go for that double, setting the Lax up. Lovely Kiss is possible. Does not go for it. Misses. Well, it's more like it's on a rest turn, so this Skarmory is going to wake up. Does not use Whirlwind because it outspeeds. Siatam is setting up slowly, and this gives Skarmory a free turn. But successfully manages to put the Skarm to sleep, and now can attempt to wear it down. Perhaps get a crit, or just get some lucky sleep turns. And, ooh, it's do or die. At this possible turn, the Skarm can wake up or not wake up. And it wakes up. Siatam goes straight to Zap on that turn, interestingly enough. He still has a very healthy Lax, but only 8 curses left versus Skarmory's 12. That could end up mattering. A boom, no. There is the Lax again. Doubles back out. Gets some shut eye for the Zap. Rest. No Thunder crits. Trying to waste the Snorlax PP here. Makes sense. Make it run out. Nice prediction there. Well, not really a prediction, more like an optimal choice to go for the Earthquake, catching the Golem. And the Lax is permanently on a timer now. It's now or never. Rest. Double Edge. 3 to go. 3 Sleep Talks left as well. And 2 Sleep Talks from the Zapdos. Lax switches out. It got phased in, took no poison damage in the process, but it turned to regular poison. Okay. So far, I'm feeling rather fresh. 2 Sleep Talks left. Decides not to use them, switching into the Raikou there. And thank you, False still has a lot of hidden powers and T-bolts to go with. Crunch could be very helpful, forcing the Lax perhaps to use a rest a little bit precociously. But Golem comes in, gets some HP back. Golem comes in again, switches out, of course, because it's threatened by the hidden power. Doesn't matter if it's ice or water. This T-Tar is looking ever threatening. Roar, EQ, Drill Peck. Hidden Power, EQ. Crits and KOs the Raikou. Putting False in an even more precarious position now. The double electrics are looking mighty threatening. Lovely Kiss will put anything to sleep here. Skarm comes in. Siatam deciding to preserve the thing even more. It's pretty close, but Siatam just has more options. managed to take down 3 consecutive mons. And all of the sleep talks are gone, and there's one double edge. This Zapdos is free to take out the Lax, or at least attempt a crit. Goes for the second to last sleep talk. Will attempt to go for another, but it's all for naught. And gets crit in the process. Ugly. His EQ Tar, but decides to switch out, despite this being the one mon you probably want out of the way. Well, I'm just a big dummy. So there's an Earthquake, but it got crit. The Lax got crit. Does not Thunder. Goes straight to a Lax of his own. Double edges. What is Seatam thinking? I'm pretty curious at this point. Goes for the LK, gets it on the right target. But now, do you double the Raikou or go to Golem? He goes to Golem. Spin. A do nothing move, but that will prove, well, I don't really understand that interaction. I'm gonna be honest. Okay. Chip damage. Ooh, getting all the crits he needs. He gets the one crit he needed. He got another crit that he really needed on the Lax, and he got a crit on Tar. Does not go for Thunder because I believe it might have been in range, but he probably just wants to force the Lax into an even worse spot with the Spadef drop. Basically saying, you can't switch out, mate. You can't do anything about this. Goes for Crunch. Uh-oh. Okay, you gotta watch out, though, because Sleep Talk could be the end of the game. Sorry, Earthquake, I mean, could be the end for Seatam if it crits. Or even right now. Oh my. That was a throw. That was just a plain throw. You had a free Golem to boom with, in my opinion. I don't know. He should have gone for Thunder. It would have forced them into make a bad play. You could have switched in Lax after, have Golem for free. I don't know. Get lefties back. Okay, well, anyways, it was really close. Like with one, with see in this position, a Thunder here would have put the Lax in range. It was never gonna wake back up. Um, but even better would have been to just bring your own Lax in, have it die, and then your Raikou would have been healthy enough to avoid an EQ. No, never mind. But there was some weird sequence there that wasn't, in my opinion, beneficial. There's the crunch, the Spadef drop, and oh crap. And I think that the second crunch might not have been necessary. That was just a cue to go for Thunder. It would have done about 40. And then you can go to Golem and threaten a boom. You threaten a, yeah, it makes sense to me. You go for a Thunder, you sack your Lax, you threaten a boom with Golem, and you stay in. Then you bring Raikou in, and the Lax can't come in. That's what I think. It was a bit of a throw, in my opinion. Um, that's what I believe. So D4 versus Century Express. D4 has been defeated by one player thus far, M Dragon. Let's see if Century Express can do it. Century Express has also been playing very strong. We got the Eggy versus Nidolee, so that's kind of. I would say it's typical, but we haven't seen it all of SPL. Zapdos getting boomed on. That's a tell. Could be a Machamp, but it could very well be a Vaporeon in the back. Most likely a Vaporeon. Licks on the Tar. It looks like Nidogar Tar versus Borat, the classic, and there I was right. Surf Tar though. So it does have it's Nido Tar with a twist because Lovely Kiss Deep is not all too common. Kind of sucks versus Stall, but no one's been bringing it, so it also sucks versus Vaporeon. So D4 must be happy because the Koi is poison every time it comes in. It takes damage. It gets a crit EQ. It's on a timer. It's sure as hell not gonna get in the way of Vaporeon here. So this Vaporeon is looking to sweep very early. Can Century Express bring it back? The Lax, we don't even know what set it is. It's the first time it comes in. Lovely Kiss. Let's hope for D4. That was not a Acid Armor set. I believe it's Sleep Talk. Yes, I was right again. And CE can make something happen with this Lax. He's going to have to attack, probably, because you don't want to let that Vaporeon set up. And it deals 31, and with the double-edged recoil, it's now nearly in range of a Surf KO. And, well, the Surf would definitely have put Lax in a position where it could no longer have attacked, and it would have been revenge killed for sure. Doesn't often happen in GSC, but to the slowest poke in the game, you can bet your bottom dollar that it's not uncommon. It's not unheard of. D4 getting even more threatening. And really, any turn here can just be the undoing of of Century Express. With the Zap and the Koi gone, he's sort of forced to go for Double Edge all the time. And D4 is forced to go for Sleep Talk all the time. The recoil is bringing Lax further and further down. He just needs one Surf, but it's not happening. It won't give. Lax is on life support. It's free for one person, and there's the KO. It went pretty terribly. But Gengar enters the conversation. Can this broken Mon get something? First turn freeze, hypnosis. What's it got? It's got the runaway technique. Sacks the Nidoking. Tar's healthy though. Tar is super healthy, mighty healthy. It had Surf. Is it going to go for it? It does. And now what shots does Century Express really have? Going back, of course. Going back to Gengar. Probably just to reset the situation. Takes some damage in the process. But this Vaporeon only has 6 PP left. Licks comes in, but takes a Hidden Power to the face. Uh-oh. Hidden Power Water. Uh-oh. Ice Punch. I swear, if D4 had chosen to switch to Lax, most definitely would have frozen the Lax because fuck you, that's why. Because in SPL, when you have a Gengar and you use Ice Punch, on the first possible thing you can freeze, it'll freeze it on the first possible turn. And the Lovely Kiss misses. T-Tar, T-Tar's gonna do T-Tar things. Maybe it can set up Gengar. Gengar is free to click T-Volt here. It revealed three of its moves, the last one most likely D-Bond or Explosion. And there's a nice little para for your troubles. Maybe you can get a free turn there. And Commentator's Curse. Whoopsie daisy. And there is the curse. Speaking of, damn, I did not mean that. It was almost telegraphed. Tar gonna go for a +1 rock slide. Sure, it's afraid of Vaporeon, but Sentry Express can do whatever he wants because he's in a losing spot right now. He goes for a mighty play there. Curse Roar, Surf Rock Slide Tar. This is the battle of erosion. He is eroding D4's team. And the Rock Slide puts the Vaporeon in range. Never mind. There are 3 Sleep Talks left on this Vaporeon. Sentry Express does the smart thing and goes for it again. Gonna pick up a KO as D4 is now all of a sudden losing. He is now all of a sudden losing. Gengar's gonna take that surf just fine. And D4 has nothing to do. The Gengar, even without hacks, is just gonna seal the deal with a nice boom. There was a lot of lucky breaks there. So D4 is going to be 7-2. And that's where his record stands. Cue the music. Let's do this. Sorry about that, guys. Let's do Hyoga Chester. I don't think I've seen this game or even heard rumors of it. Hyoga from the Scooters on the bottom, and Jester from the Tyrants. I don't know what their position is, if they're looking to qualify or if they're just playing. Cloyster coming in on that lax. It was an early lax lead. Perhaps it's Sleep Talk. I mean, it is Sleep Talk, so Forey going to come in here. Jester going for some damage on the Forey. Surf puts Forey in 3-hit KO range. But Yoga going for a Toxic. I don't necessarily agree with that. Sure, Jester may have to respect the threat of Giga Drain, which keeps Forey out of 3-hit KO range. However, going for a Toxic there doesn't matter, because at that point, the Forey is slower, and it's not going to spin or get the spikes back in case Jester, spins his spikes away. So you don't get a chance to KO it. I don't know. This Forey is pretty low, is what I'm saying. And there's a Raikou. And Nidoking, despite having used up a Lovely Kiss, looks pretty strong into Hyoga's team right now. Lax. Skarn. And a B-Slam. B-Slam? Yeah. Okay. And another Nidotar. Interestingly. We see Tar from Hyoga. Tar proving to be the preferred Fire Lax check of many SPL players on Stone. Goes for a Pursuit into Toxic Miss, and then a Fire Blast Miss into getting Toxic, into pursuing the Forey out, which kind of sucked. Hyoga got that for free. Forey quad resists Pursuit, so even that, it's not a big punish. Like, after that Fire Blast miss, the Toxic is going to stick for Jester, but he doesn't deny the spikes, which sucks. or the spin even. I mean, there's a Starmie in the back anyways, but there's always a chance that someone is bringing a sub Nightmare Starmie. But not on Hilga's team, no. It's spin. But Cloister is fine, really. Cloister's in a fine position, and to be completely honest, Fire Tar is still pretty strong into Hilda's team. We have yet to see what Jester is packing in that last slot. It could be Gengar. It could be Machamp. It could be anything. Probably a very offensive Mon. Could even be Eggy. Cloister's going to attempt to get the spikes back up, and we will see what's going to go down. Starmie, of course, with the Psychic there. Jester probably attempting to go for a, what's it called there? A Toxic on the me? Thinking at the very worst that the Starmie would have used Sub. But Psychic, which is a stab move, will take away the specially frail Cloister. And now Jester is in a tough spot. It's pretty good to see Hyuga come back to GSC slot after having been absent for the majority of SPL. Titar missing and letting Hyuga spin for free. No Gengar denial, no spin block attempt. Probably out of fear of the Psychic there, which is what makes Starmie so damn good. Nidoking coming in here, and we're going to speed things up, folks. We're going to speed things up. We're just 30 turns in. A nice crit could be, well, nice. Lax has been sleeping for 4 turns. Is it going to be sleeping for 5? Nope. Or rather, yes, but on its own terms. Using the sleep talk, calling upon rest, no longer being threatened to be killed by Nidoking. So we do see Machamp, and if there's one thing I know, it's that Machamp does not give a fuck about fundamentals. Machamp can just cleave through a team, no fucks given. So Jester is still very much in this and can win. But it's not looking very good. It's not looking very good, sorry. I coughed. Alright. There are no tricks. It seems that all we have to see from this Machamp team is right in front of us. Cross chop. Cross chop not lighting a crit, still doing 25 because that's just how beefy this Machamp is, and Zapdos is in range of a Psychic due to the Spadef drop. Therefore, it's forced to switch out on very low percent, and also with poison. Nidoking putting the tar to sleep, which I suppose is nice. Machamp is going to probably do Machamp things again. Goes for a Rock Slide. What other moves does it have? We don't know. Ah, now we do. Protect. Protect gets some HP back that was lost from the spikes. I think that Protect was a little bit early because what I like about Machamp is that it's really threatening. So you could have cursed. Not in that sequence he couldn't have. But suppose you did, you can kind of switch out the Machamp, right? You can get the opponent to think you'll switch out and they can double, but instead you protect, and now they have to come in on a +1 Machamp. That could have been an interesting thing. But now that Protect is revealed, Yoga's just going to be a lot more careful. And Rock Slide's making me think, wow, this guy don't have EQ, possibly, or Empower, I don't know. Or he's just trying to chip the Scarm, which is possible. But at this point, without Curse, I don't think this Machamp is all that threatening anyways. So it's probably Curse, Rock Slide, Cross Chop, Protect. Um, Everything went pretty horribly for Jester. We're going to speed things up. There's a setup finally. So we see Curse. Is that the first curse? It's the second curse, but yeah. Champ can take out the Skarmory from this range. Gonna go for it, but what's. I think Jester at this point is just hoping that Yoga is going to miss execute. The options are decreasing. And T-Bolt crit as if that were even necessary to make matters even worse. Making Skarmory even more of a bitch to get through. No freeze. Third time's the charm, never mind. And Jester forfeits. Alright. Nice. Alright. So we got the game you guys all know. I don't even remember. That's not true. I do. But we're gonna go over it nonetheless. So, Eggy lead versus Lax. Eggy leads a little, I wouldn't say typical. Not a typical lead for Conflict. Going into Zapdos with the Lax, which is also not entirely super mega ultra typical because that kind of hints at a Sleep Talk Lax. And Fear is going to set up and is going to stay in on the Eggy, revealing the Sleep Talk Lax of his own. Gets the Spinef drop early. As the Lax sets up, it's still threatening this Eggy, but a Boom could be pretty bad. Zap. So from Licks to Zap, tries to catch a Boom. Doesn't. Zapdos. Zapdos uses Rest. And gets T-Bolt. No hidden power. It's probably hidden power Ice. And goes to Smeargle, probably just trying to catch a Boom. I don't know. While also threatening Spore, goes for Spikes. Is it going to Spore? Yes, it is. But we know that the Lax is most likely a Sleep Talker. And indeed it is. But it was at full health. Okay. Here can do something here. Goes to Zapdos. Has the Spikes advantage, or momentum rather, at this point. The T-Bolt isn't going to do shit. Goes for Rest again. Because, well, Zap could have died. And Conflict is now in a bit more of an advantageous state, with having fewer mons chipped down and status spread and just a better gauge of the situation, but it's still very, very much an open game. 24, there's just some slight momentum in favor of Conflict right now. Espeon doesn't really like to stay in on Licks. And in comes the Eggy. Conflict considers that more of a throwaway. And in comes Jolteon, throwback to week 1 of Fear versus M-Dragon. We got Jolteon Growthion versus Growthion Espeon. I speak in rhymes now. Lax. I don't really have much to say about this game. I'm kind of just going over it like I did the first time, I suppose. But we do see. So Conflict rocking a double Psychic and Fear rocking a double Electric. That's what I have to say. That's pretty much it. I think all of Cloyster, Licks, and Gengar are pretty good into mons that check Psychics pretty well. 3 mons that like to boom on special walls. 3 mons that are just physically very apt. Well, Gengar can come in on mono Lax like this one. And so I'd say that Conflict's team is actually a lot safer then you would expect him to go in a certain game. And in comes a Starmie, which is definitely something that can shake up conflict here. And we do see Sub. Can it get a good cycle with Nightmare and Surf and some crits? Because it's most definitely a Sub Nightmare. Probably the idea here was to growth pass into the Starmie. Ooh, nice call out. Nice call out. Forcing the Zap to use Rest again. And there's a crit. So this is looking yucky. Lax coming in. Possibly forcing Conflict Lax out, but also Cloister can just do whatever it wants. I predict Surf, yep. I mean, it's not much of a prediction when I already saw the game. But I didn't remember, so. Okay, okay. Taking the Lax out, basically exposing Fear entirely to the wrath of this Espeon. Yeah, Jolteon can go toe to toe with it, but it's really tough. It's basically a battle of who has more speed, who has more power, who has more health. And there's Morning Sun at that as well. So Espeon's going to get that HP back. There's another Morning Sun. And if you can just get this Espeon down, like a nice crit, then he'd be in a good spot. But it's not happening. He relies on the fact that he can use Jolteon to revenge kill this Espeon. So if he can make Espeon run out of Surf or Morning Suns while also surfing it down, that would put Fear in some nice position. But of course, judging by the team that Conflict has, you'd really like for Fear to keep this Starmie alive. But I guess he just can't afford the momentum to be given to his opponent right now. And he cannot catch a break. Espeon is slower than Starmie by 10 base power. Gets the KO. Gets the crit. Is it going to matter? Lax is still really scary. Fear could possibly even sack Smeargle. Maybe the objective is that? Who knows? Maybe there's something more that the Smeargle can do? Starmie is going to block one Earthquake and recover. I'm going to speed things up. Double edge, 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 crit. Jolteon threatens the Lax. Mispredicts, unfortunately. DPs to Zap. No growth. Probably if Fear had used growth there, he might have been able to set the Jolteon up past the Zap. No, never mind. That's not true. There was nothing to do. Or no. Well, there was like a really small chance, but yeah, it could have enabled the Zapdos to fight this Snorlax at +1, but it's T-Bolt. It's not really going to break through Black necessarily. So, 6 Leaf Dogs left. And goes down. Smeargle, Spore. Does a little dance. Sacred Fire. We did see this, yes. I have a ladderish moveset. Smeargle can actually win this. That's the funny part. If the last move is Boom, and for any reason like it can crit the licks, then it could have boomed on the Lax, tied the game. That would have been so sick. But yeah, conflict, clutching out the game. I don't have any predictions because this is the last week, guys. And thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking tight all these weeks here. It's been like 2.5 months. At this point, basically 3. And I've been so busy, so damn busy. Like I had a lot of stuff to do. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy I don't know. The quality of this is probably absolutely terrible, but I didn't even do a single mic check. I'm super busy. I'll see you guys in a couple months. Sorry about that.